Welcome. I hope your belief in the law of attraction is growing. And today I want to ask you a question. Why is it that everybody prays when they're in trouble or when the situation is dire, but many people forget to pray or don't really want to pray when things are going well? Now, I understand that when many people hear the word prayer, they get turned off from it for many different reasons. But I urge you to stick with me here for a second, okay? So, one thing I want to get out of the way, right off the bat is that this is not religion based. So, you can pray to whatever you believe in, okay? God, the infinite intelligence, the universe, if you'd like, you're going to notice that it doesn't really matter what it is that you believe in, as long as, you have that belief that you're being supported by something higher than you. And the truth is that we're all connected to this infinite source of power. I choose to call it God, and that's just a personal thing, but you can call it whatever you want. So I started praying many years ago, the way many people start, out of desperation. But what I noticed was that the more I did it, the more things started to align and go my way. The less I was feeling things like anxiety, worry, fear, and all of those things, like doubt as well. And I would urge people to at least give it a shot. If it's something that you have never done, or if you rarely do it, I urge you to really try it a little bit more often. And I'm going to go into exactly why you might want to do that. And I'm going to share a really cool story at the end. And I have proof that this stuff really works. The important thing to remember is that praying does not have to be this formulaic process with specific words, again, from a religion. You just have to have a genuine conversation and acknowledge that the higher power is around you, that you're always connected to it. You want to seek a relationship by being genuine in the things that you say and genuine in how you speak. And that includes with the words that you choose to use. You want to speak naturally. You don't want to use words that are, ancient or even biblical words, right? A lot of people use those words and they don't even know what they mean. Just speak normally, and that's what's going to have the best effect. It feels the most genuine. Build a connection, right? That one-on-one channel between you and the higher power. Again, for me it's God, but you can call it the infinite intelligence, the universe, whatever you want. God works for me, okay? um why wait for trouble to pray, right? Everybody prays when they're in trouble, when things are going bad. I don't care who you are, right? You do it, whether you admit it or not. So why wait for that? Why not do it all the time? Why not have that conversation with the higher power? Okay, at the very least, the highest version of you, and do that, when things are going well, or even when things are just, mediocre. Nothing's like exceptionally, going well, or things aren't necessarily going bad, but it's just like an average normal day. Why not do it then too? um, you'll notice that the more you do it, the better you are going to feel about everything in your life. This really is a superpower. And it's quite simple, like the more you do that, the more you focus on the positive and accept, or are willing to accept things to come to you that are going to help you, the less you're going to fill your mind with the bad stuff like worries, doubts, anxiety, fear. Okay, speaking out loud, knowing that a solution even better than you can ever imagine is being granted to you is such a superpower. And, to incorporate this in your daily life is so easy. You just need to, some people are just say, just take a couple minutes. I'm not even going to say that. You choose how long you want to do it. You want to do it for a second, you want to do it for an hour, it doesn't matter. But just do it, and you're going to feel better. I guarantee it. The reason why is because, when you do this, you tend to focus on the positive things that you want out of life. You tend to focus on asking for positive outcomes and being open to receiving that. And that's when good things come to you. The thing about this is that making that connection with God works for everything, big or small. And, here's a little example, and I have proof. Okay, I have proof to back this up, and you'll be able to see it on my channel too. But this is just one small, really cool, miraculous thing that happened just this past month. My wife and I were basically on a hike, and we went to this beautiful cliff that overlooks the ocean. And our plan was to sit there until the sunset and then hike back out. So we got there, we found this really nice spot to sit down. And, we were just sitting there and just enjoying the moment, listening to the ocean, hearing the birds, everything, just really being present in that moment. Not really meditating or doing anything like that, but we were both just like taking it all in quietly. And I thought to myself, it'd be really cool to see a whale here. After some time, we were sitting there a really long time. We were there for like 3 hours total, but I forget at what point this was, but my wife got up. She got tired of sitting down in one spot. And then, she got up and just went down the trail a little bit to see if there was another spot for us to sit at. And when she did that, I was just sitting there alone, and I had the confidence to speak out loud and do this, right? And I basically said, something to the effect of, hey, God, it would be really cool to see a whale here. I'm not asking for a sign or anything like that from you, but it would be really nice, And it was basically that. Like, I forget the exact phrasing that I used, um, because when something like this happens, right? When you pray and something happens, it's hard to like recall the exact thing you said, but it was basically that. It was like, hey, I want to see this. It would be really cool if it would happen, right? And the idea is, you're thinking basically, it would be nice if this happened. I know it's totally possible, but it's also fine if it doesn't happen. Anyway, so I said this and I just sat there, took a couple deep breaths, just looking out at the ocean. And I kid you not, literally 10 to 20 seconds, I don't have the exact time, but way less than a minute, I hear the whale blowing the spout. You know the sound a whale makes when it comes up for water and it just like shoots the, whatever water or air it has from the blowhole. Yeah, so I hear that, and then I look out and I see the whale right in the little cove that I was hoping to see it in. Yeah, I was blown away by this, literally just in awe that I had just asked for that to happen, and I posted a short of this, so I have proof. So I posted a short video on this channel, and I was able to capture it the second time it came up. The second time was a little bit farther away than the first time I saw it, but you'll be able to see it in the little short video. And so this stuff works, guys. And the main idea is that, when it happens, you are going to know when that prayer is answered. Okay, you're going to know it wasn't coincidence. A lot of people might say, oh, yeah, but you're in a spot where, it's totally possible for a whale to, come up. It's like, yeah, I guess so, but we were there for so long and there wasn't a single whale that came up. You can go to any cliff and just sit there and the chances of seeing a whale from land are very low. And the fact that it happened less than a minute, like 10 to 20 seconds after I finished saying these words, was incredibly shocking. And that's enough for me. If you choose to not believe it, that's okay. That's for you. I'm not trying to convince you. Okay. I'm just sharing what helps. And I know that if you do this, you're going to see other amazing things happen in your life. And that's not the only thing that's happened. This is just a cool little story that I'm sharing with you. So yeah, I urge you to try this. And, if you have examples of this in your own life, if you have done this, or if you have other cool stories, I urge you to share it in the comments. Let other people know, because, I always start the videos with, I hope your belief in the law of attraction is growing, because sometimes it takes hearing a couple stories. Sometimes it takes seeing a couple things for yourself to really believe that there's something greater out there, that this stuff really works, and it really does work. And I always want to help people, and you could be helping somebody too by posting something and sharing your own experiences, or even just asking questions, anything like that. So I love to hear from you. I know it's been a while since my last video, but I've just been enjoying busy, enjoying life. And I'll be back here and there, but I really thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.